Hey everybody, Tara Green here. How you doing today? It is February the 12th and it is the last day of Saturn in Pisces for another 28, 29 years. So we want to give thanks for that hard-ass planet Saturn, the creator of time, limitations, obstacles, testing, maturity. You know, everybody gets their first Saturn return when they're 28, 29, 30 years old. So a lot of Gen Zs are just have had theirs, and a lot more are going to have theirs next year. So we want to give thanks to what Saturn and Pisces brought us for the last 2.5 years. What kind of dreams have you had? Where have you been in delusion, illusion, projection? Saturn and Pisces rules mental illness. It rules fake news. It rules ghosting. It rules oil. It rules debt. It rules viruses. So all those things were applicable, more so when Neptune was in Pisces as well. So this is the last day. Tomorrow, now, has anybody noticed that Friday the 13th is the first day that Saturn enters Aries? I just realized it myself. So it's 7:11 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. 3 hours earlier on Pacific Standard Time and 5 hours later in Greenwich Mean Time. Hello, creaky. Saturn makes creaky noises like that. It rules the bones. Aries rules the head, so expect to get headaches, more headaches. My husband's creaking the doors there on purpose. He thinks it's funny. He's a triple Capricorn, he's ruled by Saturn. And so for all Capricorns in Aries, all Capricorns in Aquarius, all Saturn entering Aries indicates, especially for you guys, a new beginning. So you always have to deal with your ruling planet, right? So especially Aries, Saturn is not strong in Aries because it's opposite the sign it's exalted in, which is Libra, which can be a good thing. So it limits that holding back, but Aries needs to be held back. You know, Aries is super spontaneous. I'll take the challenge, fired up, you know, runs into the fire, jumps in without thinking, and then goes, very bored, very restless, very impatient. So Saturn Aries can be a good thing. It's going to hold the horses back a little bit. That's a Sagittarius metaphor, but that's okay. So we don't totally burn it all down all at once. Okay, that's good. Saturn brings a little maturity. Even Aries is the first sign, so it's like, woo, we've just been born. Saturn brings maturity. It's like being born an old soul. Let's put it that way. So collectively, we are all going to be born anew. This is the first week, tomorrow. We get a week of just getting our feet wet. That's a Pisces metaphor. In Aries, with Neptune and Saturn there, they won't actually meet perfectly until Friday, February the 20th, which is the biggest day in all of our lifetimes. I know people say, and that's a big, never happened before, but this hasn't happened in over 6,300 years. And that 0 degree of the zodiac is the Big Bang degree. It's a new initiation. It's a brand new ball game. It's a brand new everything, new start. 0 point. 0 in the tarot is the Fool, and it is the sign of enlightenment, and it's the sign of living in a moment, and that's a mudra. For those of you who do yoga, the OK sign is actually a mudra. So get ready to jump into the fire, and it is a 5-alarm fire. For those of you who are still asleep, I know all the Epstein stuff coming out right now is totally all about, you know, Saturn revealing at the last degree of Pisces, the toxic, the underworld, the shadows, the dirt, the vileness of it all. And so for those of us who don't want to see, I'm sorry, that 5-alarm fire is going to make you see. But dingo, we're going to burn it all down. We're going to use that Aries fired up Amazon warriors, spiritual warriors, new dreamers, new creators. You know, the last time Neptune entered Aries in 1861, a whole new spiritual movement was born. Actually, the mediumship movement was born. Queen Victoria visited a child medium at that point. Seances became popular, and actually there was a brand new spiritualist medium movement, like associated with Lilydale and all that, started at the time. The gold rush, you know, this is going to be a new kind of gold rush, probably a digital gold rush, you know, with Uranus sextiling 60 degrees away from Saturn and Neptune and Aries, and then Pluto also 60 degrees away in Aquarius. Very, very unusual aspect for the planets to be aligned this way, not to mention 3i Atlas, which I won't go into right now. Talk about new beginnings. But, you know, if you're in Aries, get ready to go. Blast off, you know, bang, go. The gunshot is getting ready to be fired for all the fire signs. Leo, Sagittarius, bingo, your firepower is going to come back. You're going to be ready to roar and ready to inspire. And for all of the cardinal signs, Aries is the first cardinal sign. Zero Aries represents the spring equinox, so especially when the sun enters Aries this year, which is March the 21st, that will also really set this thing going. So I think it's kind of nice. We get a week to get used to Saturn and Aries again. You know, Saturn entered Aries in 2025. We got a little preview, a little appetizer, and now the real deal starts now. So of course we've all been exposed to all the toxic insanity, and now people are really angry. You want to channel your anger in a collective, positive way, okay? Aries is the warrior. It is war, it is guns, it is violence, but you want to channel. Anger is just an emotion, right? So if it's what you want to channel. Neptune is the sign of creativity, so as those two planets come together, new creativity, new dreams, new spiritual warriors. You know, be your own guru. We've just seen Deepak Chopra be revealed. Neptune and Pisces worshiping false gurus. Hollywood's going to be over all that fake faces and bodies and whatnot. Over. People are going to want real, raw, you know, fire walking is going to become very popular again. Okay, so I'm going to do a live workshop on February 19th on Zoom to explain what all this means, because there's really so many descriptions for Saturn, Neptune, the planet of reality and unreality, coming together, maturing, new dreams, you know, so many different epithets. It's very creative. We're going to channel. That's Saturn, Neptune channeling in a new way. So come and join me on Zoom. Again, February 19th, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then February 20th at 1 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. I'm currently in Mexico right now in Puerto Vallarta time. So I'm an hour earlier than EST. But I've got that advertised now on on Luma. So if you want to join me, you can join through through getting in touch with me through my website at tarottarot.com. You can text me. Oh, I can't say that on TikTok though. But anyway, you can go to my website, tarottarot.com, and find out how to contact me, and you can join. And so the more people together, the more collective together, I'll do a guided meditation explaining for each sign what all of this means. So yeah, Saturn is time. Time is flying. Okay, see you soon. Many blessings of the day. Bye-bye, Saturn. Thanks for the memories.